Driving again. Like I said, it's just the best place to be for me to flow sometimes. And I am watching the road, kind of. Got a good peripheral. Hey, I was thinking about something, okay? And so I wanted to address it. The difference in realms, you guys have heard of realms and dimensions, right? Those are two different things. And I wanted to hit on that topic today. This is a more advanced video. I knew I'd be getting into these eventually, and so I just wanted to hit on that today. Now, every video I've done so far has explained my experiences. It's let you draw your own conclusion, just as well as I've had to draw my own conclusion from my own experiences in astral travels since I was a kid. And so now that I'm older and, wiser and more experienced, I can relate things, from this side to that side and vice versa. And I'm here to tell you my perspective of that. Okay, so I want to first let you guys know that, again, I channeled through Jesus Christ. I am a Christian. I don't know the Bible as well as I should, but I have been reading it. And I want to kind of warn you that this video is for advanced people that are awakened, people that are spiritually inclined. As far as advancement, a lot of people will be drawn to channels like this one because they're experiencing shifts in realities, shifts in consciousness. They're becoming in tune, and that is for those people. This video is for those people. I don't suggest getting into knowledge unless you're ready for knowledge. Knowledge is something that cannot be undone. Once you learn something, your mind stores that. And, when I read the Bible and I channel through Jesus, and as I've said in previous videos, I have seen Jesus. And the purpose, of the Bible is to, okay, I'm just going to tell you, through experience, through seeing Jesus Christ, He has always told me why the Father doesn't understand why people just can't believe, can't go off faith. The system's designed for you to learn through faith, through religion, and the belief system. And it really is. And the reason for that is because you're not supposed to have all the answers. It's humanly impossible for us to house the answers of God. We are not capable of that. Our body would self-destruct if we were that knowledgeable, if we were to use our whole entire brain. And so there's things that you should really be careful. I was born with this gift, and in that, I wouldn't have seen Jesus if there wasn't belief, okay? So I want you to be aware of that. Just because I astral traveled my whole life as a child, it was scary. I didn't know what was going on. I was seeing really bad things, ghosts, demons, and it was my faith and belief system that got me to a higher place. So, every time I was in soul form, I was astral traveling and I was praying to Jesus in Jesus' name. And that's why I woke up every time. And eventually what had happened was I started seeing Jesus, and He taught me things, and I'm still learning. He's not going to give me more than I can handle, and everything is coming in really quickly lately. And, I've had to pray constantly because I'm like, Jesus, is this right? Is this right? Because people are becoming more spiritually aware and advanced, and some of them aren't channeling through Jesus Christ. Some of them are channeling through Buddha. Some of them are channeling through, again, Yoga Ganda, but also other, the Dara, the spiritual law, these systems. And I've struggled with it because the spiritual law is true. Everything you see in spiritual law is a mimic of the truth, and it is the truth. However, the one truth, the only one in truth, is God above. And, you go dabbling in information, you're going to get it. That's what I'm telling you. And so, yeah, it's all real. But in my opinion, we are supposed to be delivered to heaven by a belief system. And that belief system is God. Okay, and I believe firmly as a Christian that we have to recognize through Jesus Christ. Because I feel like if Jesus wasn't to came in man form and to walk this earth himself, then I feel like maybe that the world could have ended back then, and that we wouldn't have experienced life today. And again, I'm not a biblical scholar or anything. I'm just telling you by experiences, and that's my belief system. However, I've done a lot of praying about it, and you know, when I tried to close down the spiritual side of me, you know, I'm always going to astral travel, so that's not going to change. And when I tried to close that spiritual door, things got hard for me, and so I have to channel the way I have to channel. And a lot of people are waking up, and I'm here to help you guys who are waking up. So I want to explain, and again, I'm going to tell you again, if you're a Christian watching this station or this channel, I don't advise you to continue to watch this video, okay? Because it's knowledge that you don't need to know, okay? And I'm telling it to the people that are experiencing it, okay? And it's real knowledge, but you go by your belief system and you're going to be delivered. You go by the Bible, you know, you eat healthy. Everything that Bible says is on point, you know. Words, those are holy words. And I would love to see people be delivered in that kind of manner, but some people are waking up to who they are, and that's where we're at right now. Okay, the reason for why I feel like we're awakening is because the world is going through a shift. Do I think it's end times? Yes, I do. Yes, I very much so think we're in end times. Do I know that? No. I'm not sure Jesus even knows that, and if he did, they aren't going to tell me. However, they are showing me signs. You know, read the Bible and Revelation. It might scare you, but there's a lot of truth in that, because the world is experiencing, and I'm talking about planet Earth, is experiencing imbalances. And, you know, in order to sustain, what I keep getting from the higher ups and from Jesus himself is that we must sustain balance. And what I keep hearing is from Jesus in astral projections, him telling me, you know, people have ruined Earth, and it was our self-will that caused this destruction. And that in order to bring stability to the planet, then we have to change. And this technology right here is one of the main reasons, and there's many others, but Wi-Fi is not a good thing. Okay, the government, okay, they know the spiritual power. They have the information that a lot of people lack, and they've used it in a negative way against people. And I'm not all about negativity, but I'm telling you the truth, okay? So if you only knew what the government's doing, and it's really blowing, when they mess with things like CERN and HAARP and controlling our weather, as above, so below, they know this, and this is a blueprint of spiritual law. This is a God's blueprint, and what they've done is they've used it as almost like a witchcraft power against us in a negative way. So they're changing and affecting things, building machines. The machines are built on electromagnetic energy, just as we are, and I can get into that, but it's going to be a while. I'm telling you this because their machines, their very machines is causing, when something goes up, when they're, basically it's destructing the Earth. I'll get into all that later. That's not what this video is about. So when we have frequencies in Earth, Earth has tones, okay? So if you sat quiet when you're a kid and you could kind of hear tones in your ears, or, you know, like a humming or buzzing sound, that's just a grounding it's a ritual to ground you to the Earth. It's to harmonize you with the planet. Okay, this same frequency sound is speeding up. Okay, so when it speeds up, it's saying that our Earth is vibrating too fast, and what that's doing is it's causing us to go into another realm. Our Earth is not correctly in space like it was, and things are just thrown off. And as the Bible will tell you, okay, so I'm telling you the scientific part of it, but in the Bible it will tell you the same. Okay, you don't have to worry about the scientific part, because the Bible will tell you. You notice signs in the stars, signs in the moon, signs changing. Look to your astrology. Now, astrology can be witchy, but it also is in the Bible in a way. It tells you, you know, God created those things. God created the stars and the moon, and you know, we can look to that for signs. And so some of that's okay. What gets wrong when you want to, and I don't want to do this whole video on this, but when you get out of line is when you start believing you cannot manifest something. Like, for instance, a psychic. A lot of people say, do a psychic reading on me. I can do past readings. I can do past lives. You know, I can do talking to your loved ones. And I can do psychic readings, but, you know, a true psychic won't. I'm going to tell you that. A true good psychic won't do that. And that's why it's against the rules in the Bible to even do that. And that's why when I had somebody come to me on this channel and say, am I going to win money soon? You know, once you realize your own power, you realize that you are capable of your future. I'm not special in the fact that I can control things. You all are capable of it. You are just conditioned to not know, okay? You just don't know. Your future depends on your thought process. So what you think is going to become. So yeah, I could tell you where you should go to try to guide you where you need to be, but I still feel that's wrong. Because ultimately what I do is when somebody asks me that, I tell them, hey, this is what let me teach you how your mind works, and then you could create your own future, because I'm not going to be responsible for that. I had a friend that seen a psychic and she was pregnant. Her psychic told her that her baby was going to die and that she would have 2 girls later. Now my friend really was stuck on this, and it bothered me. That psychic should have not have told her that. And so she had complications middle of pregnancy where the intestines were setting outside the baby. And so basically she had the option to abort it at like literally 3 or 4 months. It was actually maybe longer than that, I don't know. She chose to abort the baby, and I don't think she should have done that. Okay, somebody created that for her, and she believed it, and then she decided that that's what she needed to do because the psychic told her. Now, she could have changed her future herself if she wouldn't have been influenced to believe something somebody told her. Now, the only one that's good enough to tell you anything is God himself, and God himself ain't even going to tell you. So watch your psychic readings, man. I always push that because there's a reason. All right, hold on a minute. I gotta have some water. All this talking. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and explain the realms real quick. The realms are pretty much the difference between the realms and dimensions. The realms are going to the realms. This is confusing. This video might get a little bit long. I'm gonna try to hurry up here. The realms is basically okay. Let's start with the dimensions. How about that? Dimensions are like afterlife planes. Planes you go to after you die, and they're different dimensions, different places. And the reason why we go here, okay, if you're not ready when you die to go straight to God, you pretty much finish where you left off. And these are dimensions, okay? And I'll get back into that. Now, realms are actually ran concurrent with this current life. So to be in another realm, you would need to be alive. And look at me, I'm going to turn around. I missed my road back there, so I should pay more attention. To be in another realm would mean that you need to be alive on this earth or another planet. Now, we'll get into other planets later, but okay, so you're on Earth, and to explain a realm it's going to explain all your other lives, okay? Again, you must be alive, as far as I know, to visit these. Or to hit on this. But anyway, realms are, you got an Earth, and so many times out there I've seen Earth, there's more than one Earth, okay? And it's like basically seven planets. And then they align with 7 more planets. Okay, I know nothing about our solar system. And so when I had this astral projection and seen 7 planets aligned with 7 more planets and then 7 more planets, I realized, wow, that's kind of cool, because in our solar system there are 7 planets. So there was more than one Earth in these things. I can't explain it. I traveled in 2065, and in that time frame, our worlds were colliding, and it was able to show me that there was more than one Earth. In 2065, people were spiritual mystics. They limited their usage on light bulbs, electricity, Wi-Fi. They knew that this was damaging the Earth. So these people there knew what's going on. Now, okay, I traveled, and I mentioned this before, I traveled in 2004 in this life. And how I know it was 2004, okay, in this life, I was astral traveling. So this has nothing to do with going to 2065, okay? This is a different trip that I took, and I went to 2004, and I was in Arizona, and I've noticed I seen myself. Okay, so in Arizona, I seen myself, and I was painting a dresser. I didn't become myself. I observed myself, and it was a wild trip. It was a wild experience because I had never seen anything like that. I've never experienced realms. I've only really traveled to dimensions, and so that's what brought me aware to the fact that I had more than one life going on. The person I was living with is somebody that I know in this life, so that confused me as well. And that's why I really dug into this a little deeper, and I asked more questions on the other side, and that's where I've got my conclusion this far. If something changes, I'll definitely let you know. But my perspective of it on this at this time is saying that we all basically, okay, when my body, say I'm living, this is the thing, 2004. I knew it was 2004 because I looked at this bread. I had bread sitting on the counter, and the expiration date was 2004. So basically that shows me that right now in this current lifetime, obviously in 2004 I was alive, I have another life in Arizona somewhere. I do look the same, and I don't know if that always happens or what, but I do resemble myself there. And the person that I know that's there too, she does also. So it's I kind of wonder, you know, if we were to travel to Arizona, would we run into ourselves, you know? Is that possible? I don't know. We could be on a different frequency and might not see us at all. The thing is that this is what I get. Okay, so you have many choices in life. Many choices in life. Every decision you make. So do you get married? Do you marry that guy? Who do you choose to be with? Do you choose that house, or do you want a different house? You know, those are type of things I'm talking about. These are choices. When you make a choice, you're consciously aware of this choice. So in this choice, I've left my ex and I've moved on and I'm living and blah, blah, blah. But somewhere in the back of my mind, since I've thought about it, there is another choice I had made. So say, what if I had stayed with him? Okay, so there's choices. So in realms and splitting of realities means that part of me went this way and part of me stayed back there. Okay, when that happens, that's when you get all these lives at one time. Alright, so every decision you've ever made, you have to say yes or no, right? And we're not talking just big decisions. In my opinion, every decision you make can cause you to split in different directions. Okay, for example, see this car? Pretend I wasn't paying attention and we just hit head on, and I know that's negative, but I'm just giving an example. Pretend I hit head on and I died back there, or whatever. Then I would split. You know, I would go off to where I need to go, or whatever. Alright, so that's just, or maybe I didn't die, because I can't even say dying, because I really don't believe you're able to do these realm trips if you're dead, and I'm not sure about that. But say that I hit that car and I got injured and now I'm in the hospital or something stupid, and you know, part of me is going this way, part of me is still driving, part of me is back there. You know what I'm saying? Those close calls. So you split, and that I'm pretty sure about. And so you ask, like, people, I say you, but people ask me, you know, well, how can we split this many times? And like, where, like, you're aware of this reality, you're not aware of that one because you chose not to be in that one. I don't want to be in that one. I'm in this one because I chose it. So this is another thing. Frequency is why we can't always see things. Okay, in astral body, I can see all frequencies that I am able to, depending on what frequency I am in, is what frequency I will see. And that's why I wanted to do an electromagnetic energy video soon, because that'll explain what I mean by frequency. This is more advanced, so I'm hoping that people that are already familiar with this will know what's up with frequencies. The frequency, basically, in a short summary, is if you take, and I told my son this, you know, if you take a fishing pole and you know, hit it, like, go into the water with it, like if you vibrate your fishing pole, you know what I'm saying, if you cast it out, if you cast that fishing pole, then you're gonna see a vibration at the tip of that fishing pole, right? But if you do it really hard, I'm talking really hard, like soon as you get so much vibration that you can't see it anymore. Okay, anything that has a lot of vibration, you can't see it. So then it disappears. But does it mean that it's not there? Absolutely not. It just means that it's vibrating so fast that you can't see it with your human eye. However, it does create sound waves. Those sound waves oftentimes aren't heard with our human ear. Okay, so that's why people that are not in tune cannot see ghosts, and that's why they can't concept things. You know, they see things in a 3D reality. This 3D reality is only seen because it's the frequency we're on. Now 3D Earth is very slow frequency, where I think it's the slowest. I actually will say that, and I will always tell you I don't know if I don't know, but I'm telling you 99% sure this is the slowest frequency place. Not too many people want to come here, and the people that do want to come here want to make a change, and that's, you know, either that or you're reliving karma, you know what I'm saying? The other frequency places, the other dimensions, and I'm not talking realms, I'm talking the other dimensions. After you cross, they know about us. After these people that died and are living other realm or other dimensions, they definitely know about us, and they know that we are not really with it on the fact that I can't even say all that, because you know why? I'm gonna get steered away. I'm just telling you, they know us. Every other dimension that I've ever been in knows us. So that means that we're the ones that are lagging. Okay, we're the ones lagging in time. We're the ones that think that time exists, because time doesn't exist. Time is not. Time only exists because somebody tells you, hey, when the sun comes up, it's another day. That's not true. You know, our clocks, those are not true. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you why. Okay. Why that isn't true is because, all right, say that I call across another country. Say wherever I call, there's 6 hours difference than us. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up that phone and I'm gonna call them. Does that mean that I'm not talking to them now just because they're 6 hours ahead or behind? Does that mean they gotta wait 6 hours for them to answer that phone? No, that means we're talking now. There's no such thing as time. And that's really irrelevant to those who just do a belief system based on Jesus Christ. You don't need to know all this, man. We're not programmed to know it. But guess what? The world's in destruction. We are being shown things to clear things up. I'll be right back. Guys, sorry about that. My phone is out of memory, so I'm gonna have to delete some things. So anyway, the purpose of me telling you this is that we make our own decisions, okay? So we create what we want through self-will. Jesus, God, they gave us self-will. So it's our decision what we want to do from here. And a lot of people manifest their own reality because they are aware of how the system works. And when people become aware of this, then they're able to control their thought process, and they're able to understand that there is so much more than what we believe, what our perception, you know, it goes beyond our senses, and we've never been taught this. And so the universe, and I'm going to say universe, has opened up and aligned its planets correctly. And I normally will say God, Jesus, but you know, Jesus did create the universe, so in a sense Jesus is allowing this to happen. But you know, a lot of people think this is a glorious thing. Do I think it's a glorious thing? Not really. No, I don't. You know why? Because I think it's okay that we're waking up, but I think it's sad that our earth is dying. And it is. Our earth is dying. And I think it's sad what people have done to our earth and to our planet and to God's work. And I also think it's sad that people use the powers. You know, once they gain knowledge of powers, they use it against God and God's intentions. And that's why it's so important not to, I say dabble. I don't think it's, if you're holy and you're right, then yeah, it's okay. I do believe that's okay. But if you're not, if you're going to use this for self-gain, for money, for fame, you know, be you. Follow your passions. But don't, like the government, don't use it to harm things, to gain control. You know, money Okay, let me just give you an example. Charms. I wear some charms, and I've prayed about this because in the Bible it mentions that, you know, the first ones to heaven ain't always the ones that are going to be, it basically says sometimes the last ones to heaven are the ones that are saved, and the first ones are sometimes rejected. And that if you come with your purse and your charms, you know, Jesus will wipe that away. The thing is I think what that's trying to say is don't be materialistic. Everybody, not everybody, but many people on this 3D reality is all about what can I get, what about me. Our job is to create the once you find your flow state, you know, Google flow state and it'll tell you about that. But once you find your passion, once you find your truth in you, then you could be who you want to be, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a musician, and your passion isn't for money, but it is for delivering a feeling of peace and, you know, harmony to people, then that's what your purpose is. You know, painting. Don't always think about something materialistically. Do it. Once you're doing your passion, then you're where you need to be. Okay, my passions are these videos, is to teach, but I also want to make sure I'm correct. You'll see a lot of times where I'm saying, I'm not sure, but this is what I think. You know, it's very scary to preach about Jesus and the afterlife. You know, even though I know what I know, it doesn't mean that it's okay to say it. And so sometimes I have to pray about that and make sure that I'm doing what is in God's will, you know, for me. Self-will is a really powerful thing in this 3D reality. However, you can be judged for your self-will, you know, when you die. And so I try to be very careful with what I say. The truth is the truth, though, and I don't know one video that I haven't said Jesus Christ is the truth, you know, so I'm just telling you like I know it. Okay, so the dimensions I've talked about, okay, you got the realms, right? The different realms and stuff going on. These people, they're just like us. It's a mimic of Earth. It's just another replication of Earth. It's just a little bit slightly sped up in frequency. So what we've been dealing with, Google this, Mandela effect. If you've not heard of Mandela effect, look it up. Mandela effect is a man that I think he was a president of Africa or something like that. Half the world thought that he died in prison, and half of them thought he went on to be president of Africa. So why would half the world think one thing and another half the world think another? This is all the realms starting to transverse, or, you know, separate. It would be the word. The realms are separating. Okay, so when the world ends, or whatever is happening, the negative or the people that need more work, you know, will be left in this more negative, dense world here. And then the one that's speeding up, we will transfer to that one. And a lot of people might not see it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I got a phone call. Sorry about that. Hold on just a second. Okay, so basically the shift is already happening, you know, so some people are remembering things in a different way. In other realms, things look the same, but they're different, you know. You'll hear stories. I've heard stories too about this, that people who are realm jumping, like this one lady, she woke up and she went outside and she walked into like a different era, and she just like was freaking out. And she didn't know what was going on. She walked back in her apartment, everything was normal, and that was fine. You know, these realm things are happening now. You'll hear about it more and more and more. Realm jumps, like, I heard a story that this lady was actually driving down the road, and it looked like a plane was going to crash. It was landing close to her house, is what it was coming down very close to where she lived. So I guess she ran in the house and turned on the news or whatever she did, and she was trying to find something that came on about this plane landing in a city or whatnot. And there was nothing on, and she just didn't understand what she'd seen. But what she'd really seen was a different realm. So in a different realm, there was an airport close to her house, and you know, that's why that plane was flying so low. Because in a different realm there was an airport there. It looked like ours, but things are different. You know, you might see a shop that isn't there. You know, I heard another story, this hypnosis lady, she was saying that she did a hypnosis and she learned about this experience about this guy who stopped at this gas station. He was on a trip. He stopped at a gas station, and the gas was like $3 a gallon or whatever. And then he went to the hotel and stayed there. The hotel was pretty cheap. When he left the hotel the next day, he thought about stopping at that gas station to get something. That gas station wasn't there. All right, the prices were cheap at that gas station because he was in a different time era. You know what I'm saying? He was in a different frequency. And this reality that he's supposed to be in, or you know what I'm saying, that he's used to, that he's aware of, it didn't have that gas station there at all. So you kind of, that's just deep knowledge, and you kind of just have to let that go in one ear and out the other. Now, I'm telling you because a lot of people ask, and that's because we're going through this shift, and I asked myself, okay, and I was shown from the other side without asking. And so I feel like I'm shown things because I need to tell people about them. And that's why I'm here to do. But what's this mean for you? It doesn't really mean anything. Everybody's been switching realms their whole life and they just don't know it. It's all about your vibration and frequency. You rise higher. You know, when you rise higher in conscious thought and you surround yourself with more good intentions, you'll see more good in your life. That's a realm jump, okay? So I'm seeing more good. You know, I'm put around good people. I'm put around people that are thinking in the way I'm thinking. Okay, people like that are on a lower frequency dimension in the mind aren't gonna see what I see, or they might be influenced by negative. There might be more negative in their life influencing them, or a bad luck, one thing after another happening to them. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about realms, okay? And again, it's too deep. It's like the Kundalini effect. God didn't make us to know this. We don't need to know this. This is God's blueprint. This is not for us, okay? And it really isn't. And I'll argue with you if you tell me otherwise, so don't argue with me. We're supposed to go by belief system. Good and bad, right and wrong, eat healthy, that's it. But no, everybody wanted to know science. Everybody wanted to know things that were unknown for a reason. And now look at us. We're self-destructing. The world is done. The world is going into, it's done. I mean, in my opinion. And I guarantee all the others that are awoke can agree and will agree that I am correct with that. Because this is what we've done by wanting to seek knowledge, wanting to know. There's no balance in wanting to know. There's no balance in wanting to know the truth. And when people's done that, scientists have sent things to, space. They've done things that has affected our belief system. We've had scientists come up and say we're evolved from monkeys or whatever the hell they've said. I don't know how many, but some people believe this. And, they go by evolution. And this is all bullshit, because I'm telling you now, even I say a dead person, even as I astral travel, my mind out there is still not capable of housing the knowledge of God. I can tell you the experiences, the realms, it still isn't going to tell you all the answers you seek. And if somebody ever tells you they have all the answers, they're lying to you. I can tell you that for sure. They're lying to you. Look at Einstein, he went crazy. Look at is it Stephen Hawkins, I think. I mentioned him before. I don't even research these people, but he's in a wheelchair because his mind's so intelligently smart. People that open their mind too far in advancement, they're searching for scientific truths. Yeah, they've made a lot of power, like Notre Dame, or a lot of people have came here and told us many things. Now, is this good? It's true, yes, but is it good? I'm not sure if it is, and I can tell you, I don't think it is. Leave it be. You're not gonna just go into space and tell me that time doesn't exist and da-da-da-da-da. And yeah, you're proving stuff, just as I could prove stuff to you guys. I could sit down and write the science of it and prove things to you. But what am I doing by that? I'm disproving God. I'm disproving belief systems. I'm not trying to disprove just to prove a certain thing. Now, a lot of people that are awoke will tell you that they came from stars, that we're from the Big Bang Theory. This is where it gets frustrating to me. Stephen Hawkins, or whatever his name was one that pushed this theory. Okay, yes, we didn't evolve from a monkey. But and it does seem like there was an explosion in space and that we could be some kind of stardust or some kind of spark from that. But I'm telling you now, there is way more than what that Stephen Hawking guy seen with his telescope. He got this Big Bang Theory because he looked through a telescope. He's seen in time, okay? He figured out how to measure time through space. This helps scientists go into space. We don't need to freaking go into space because we're messing with other dimensions, and we can't do that. That's against spiritual law, and that's why we're really in trouble right now. Alright, so he tells us, well, we're about 13 billion years away from that light I seen in my fancy telescope, so therefore the Earth has to be 13 billion years old, give or take 260,000 million years, or what the hell ever he says. He's jacked up, okay? You're never going to get the whole truth. The truth is, the Earth's only like 6,000 years old. Read your Bible to tell you. Alright, literally 6,000 years old. But that's what's up. I don't care what you think, and I don't care how old it is. I'm telling you that his whole life was devoted to disprove God, to bring proof to the people. And what this has done nothing but cause more friction. It's caused more space trips. It's caused more knowledge. And I am telling you, I don't know how many times I've heard Jesus tell me, my Father, the Father, this is what he says, the Father don't understand why people don't believe. These machines that peoples are making is like completely damaging our planet. And not only does our planet need balance through proper, this car right here is polluting the planet. A million things are polluting the planet. But we're talking about people, okay? People's mind frames pollute the planet. In 2011, scientists could not figure out why. Why was there a spike in, there was basically the turn of the Earth on the axis. There was a stall. Why was there a stall in this, turn or whatever of in 2011? They're seeing that the planet is not harmonizing. It's not turning right on its axis. Okay, in 2011, what had happened? Hello. I think that's funny. I say 2011 and it's not. That's so funny. 2001, I think. Gosh, I don't even know. But I'm talking about 9/11. Everybody knows 9/11, right? I'm gonna blame that on a realm jump, man. Jeez. But anyway, in 9/11, basically, everybody's mind is totally freaking out, thinking that we're all dying because we're under a terrorist attack. And everybody in the world seeing this on the news. Every one of you can tell me where you were at that day if you were here for 9/11. The reason why is because it's in thought. It's a fear-based thought. When you have a fear-based thought, it programs into your mind and it doesn't go away, okay? So that's why you can remember details about that day. And in that fear-based thought, we actually disturbed the Earth. The Earth stuttered. The Earth was not spinning in the way it should have been spinning. When scientists seen that, some scientists have no idea what the mind can do. But they had to realize that, after studying in time, they had to realize that this is caused from people's thoughts. Half or whole, everybody was so scared that day. So the mind process created fear, which disturbed our planet. Okay, so that's how strong your thoughts are. Your thoughts can disturb the planet. When Jesus says you can move mountains, yes, you can. All right, and that is why. Because your mind is more powerful than you have a clue. And who gave you that power? Jesus. Because God. We're all an image of God. Okay? So, in my opinion about Jesus and God, my kids ask me this a lot. Is God Jesus' dad, and how does that work? And I don't have all the answers, and I won't pretend I do. I can tell you my perspective. Jesus appears to me as a person. In astral travel, he looks like a person. He's actually giant. He's very big, and he houses all the knowledge. He's very powerful in thought. My phone's stopping again. Give me just a second.